Hello everyone, Scott Kehler from Weatherlogics here with a tutorial today on how to use our current conditions part of our Weather web app. To start with, once you're logged into the app, on the side navigation, click Current Conditions to visit the Current Conditions page. Once you arrive on the Current Conditions page, you'll see the current weather at a station near you. By default, the app will pick a series of stations close to your location and display information for that area. Right now, mine is showing weather conditions here from Winnipeg Airport. However, most of you probably do not want the Winnipeg Airport to be your default station, so let's change it. If I scroll down to the bottom, right now it shows my stations being Winnipeg Airport, but perhaps I'd rather look at the weather conditions at Carmen. So if I switch to Carmen, you can see now my current conditions are from Carmen. And we'll go through in a moment all the different values you see here. But one thing you might be wondering is, when I reopen the app, won't it just go back to say Winnipeg again? And won't it be annoying if every time I have to change it back to Carmen? Well, that would be annoying, but luckily there's a way that you can fix that. So just go up to your username in the top right corner here with the settings gear, click your name and click settings. And then all you need to do is change your current condition station from whatever it is showing there to what you want it to open as by default. So I'll change mine to Carmen. You can see it's updating. In the top corner there, it showed settings updated. So now if I refresh the app and visit that current conditions page again, you see I'm now showing current weather from Carmen, and every time I load the app, it will show Carmen's weather first. And you can change it to whichever station near you you'd like to view. Now getting into some of the data that you're viewing here, this main panel here shows the current weather. Usually the weather conditions in this panel are updated either at the top of the last hour, or in some cases they're updated every 10 minutes throughout the hour. Different data providers provide different update periods. In general, if the weather station comes from an Environment Canada federal government source, it'll be updated every 10 minutes. If it comes from Manitoba Agriculture or another agriculture network, it will update every hour. So here, Carmen, my station last updated at 8 p.m. So this one likely is just a station that updates every hour. So at 8 p.m., you can see what the air temperature was, dew point, humidity, soil temperatures, wind, and many other factors. Some stations, mainly the agriculture ones, will have these soil temperature values and soil moisture values. However, some of the other government stations like Environment Canada do not record those values, and so you will not see them show up here. However, if you look at other nearby stations, you may be able to find a provincial agriculture station that does have those data points, and you can use that for those values. So that's what you're seeing in the current conditions window. One note about wind, it's showing here my wind is east-southeast, 18 gusting to 30. The direction is where the wind is coming from. The first value, 18, is the sustained wind speed, which is the average wind speed over a period of time. And the gust value is the maximum wind speed over a period of time. So in this case, 18 kilometers per hour, you could think of as like the average wind over the past hour, ending at 8 p.m., and 30 kilometers per hour being a gust is the maximum over the previous hour, ending at 8 p.m. Now next, you can see here the yesterday's conditions. This just shows you very simply what the max-min temperatures were yesterday, also what the precipitation was, maximum humidity, maximum wind speed, and average wind direction. That's pretty straightforward. And here you have the nearest webcam. These webcams are provided by various highway departments. So depending on where you are, there may or may not be a camera close to you, but it will choose the one which is nearest to your location. Sometimes it'll be closer than others. It just happens to depend on whether the government has set up a camera close to your location. If we scroll down a little bit farther, here you can see recent observations at Carmen for the past 72 hours. So I can mouse over this graph. I can see what the weather conditions were every hour for the past 72 hours. And I might use that for to see kind of what's going on over the past few days. This first graph is showing you things like temperature, dew point, wind chill, road temperature, relative humidity. The next graph is also showing you weather conditions by hour for the past 72 hours. But this one is showing you wind speed, wind gust, and wind direction. Lastly, there's a graph here showing soil moisture and soil temperature over the last 3 days if the station reports that data. And the final graph here is not hourly, but rather this is weather conditions over the past few days in terms of the daily max min values. So here you can mouse over and see what were the daily max min temperatures over the past few days, and also the precipitation if there was any. So that's an overview of what you can view on this page. There's one other setting that you should bear in mind though, which is the time period. I just showed you weather conditions over the past 3 days. However, at the bottom here, you see it's right now showing 3 days, but perhaps I want to look at the past week, so I could change it to the past 7 days. And now, rather than just showing me what's happened over the past 72 hours, you can now see what's happened over the past 7 days or 168 hours. And there's other options available here too. You can actually go out pretty far into the past. I believe it's up to 90 days in the past that you can look at previous weather conditions. So you can go back and see what's gone on in recent history at a location near you. There's also current conditions available on the interactive map page. If you're wanting to get a feel of what's going on based on a map view, rather, you can check on the weather stations view here. And if you zoom in sufficiently far, what's going to happen is these little white circles will pop up. Those are weather stations, and you can click any one to see what the current weather is at a station. You can click more info to go to that current conditions page with full details for that location. So I've clicked Starbuck here. I can see what the weather is doing there right now, or I could pan around and maybe I want to look at what weather is like at Souris, or if I go even farther, maybe I want to now look and see what's going on here at Kappa in Alberta. So there's many stations available to you. You can look at the interactive map for more details on what's available near you. Also gives you a feel for what weather stations local to you might want to use on your current conditions page. So you can check around your area and see what stations are near you, and you can choose those on the other current conditions page and then go on settings and set one of those locations as your default. Just one other note, since we're on this page, you might notice that there's a lot of red shading going on. That's weather warning. So you can just click on the map and it will pop up the weather warning that's in effect wherever you've clicked. So in this case, there's heat warnings in effect due to the warm weather that's coming up. There's also weather radar in the background here. You can see some of these color shaded areas indicating where there's a storm right now here in Western Manitoba. So there's a preview for you of how our current conditions works in our app. If you've got any other video ideas for us on things you'd like to learn, feel free to let us know. You can just simply visit the contact page of the app, contact us, fill out the form with what you'd like to see, and we'd be happy to do another video about other features of our service. Thanks for listening, and we'll be in touch again soon.